Hello, welcome everyone to Readsmood, Books with Meaning. Today, we're not staying silent with a single note.
Okay, so let's dive into this book, A Single Note by Max Dare. It's really made an impression.
It really has. I found myself thinking about it long after I finished. It's quite something.
It is. And the physical book itself, this lovely hardback, quite small, 4.25 by 6.87 inches apparently.
Which feels intentional somehow.
Yeah,
Intimate.
exactly. Published in 2025, independently, copyright Max Dare. But what really grabs you, I think, right from the start is that dedication.
Oh, absolutely. To all the notes in the world, the born free, the unwritten, the ones carried away, it immediately tells you this is bigger than just a story.
Yeah, it sets up these themes of potential, freedom, the value of small things.
Precisely. And that line, every note, no matter how small, holds the power to change the world. It's the core idea, isn't it?
It feels like it. So our mission today, I suppose, is to explore why this book resonates, what it's saying about music, ego, control, perfection even.
And freedom, ultimately.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the author's prologue.
Right. Dare himself calls the book a rebellious whisper. I love that phrase.
Me too. A whisper against ego, control, the obsession with perfection. Not just in music, but, life.
He mentions this urgent need he felt to write it, a fable about finding each other in music, but outside the usual rigid structures.
And it feels personal, too, when he says each character, the trumpeter, the drummer, the violinist, holds a piece of him.
The one lost in pride, the one needing to control every beat, the one chasing flawlessness. It makes him feel very human, very relatable somehow.
Oh, definitely. It's like he's putting his own struggles out there, which invites you, the reader, to maybe see aspects of yourself in them, too.
And he ends the prologue saying even a single note is enough to change everything. A powerful setup.
Very. Which leads us straight into book one, The Mad Trumpeter.
Yeah, the focus here feels like ego, isolation, and this underlying theme of music that ultimately can't be silenced.
Exactly. It opens so strikingly, this famous trumpeter's huge authoritative sound, and then it just dies. Silence.
It's such a vivid image of ego meeting reality, isn't it? Especially an ego built on performance and external validation.
And then the catalyst, the boy at the door, with the sign.
I want to hear the most beautiful melody in the world before I die. So simple, so direct.
And the world responds. This wave of spontaneous music starts everywhere. It's raw, unpolished.
Which completely baffles the trumpeter. He's just frustrated, angry even. It highlights the gap between his controlled world and this authentic human connection emerging.
I think that authenticity is key. People were maybe tired of perfectly produced, market-tested music. The Child's Plea, it cut through all that. It demanded something real.
And the trumpeter, he just can't see it. He's trapped.
He can't. In Chapter 2, The Note No One Asked For, you see the headlines about musicians uniting, playing this free music, and his reaction.
Dismissive. He looks down on it, calls it inferior.
And his conversations with the drummer and violinist start hinting at their different perspectives, their own struggles with this unexpected phenomenon.
Then that moment, his own trumpet makes no sound. It's chilling.
It's like his instrument becomes a metaphor for his own creative block, his ego silencing him.
So what does he do? He tries to regain control. Chapter 3, The Last Golden Sound.
Yes, the counter event. This massive, highly organized, worldwide show, the opposite of the spontaneous music.
It's all about imposing order, structure, his way of doing things, trying to overshadow the grassroots movement. It feels like a desperate move, almost.
A fear of irrelevance, maybe. Clinging to the old ways where value meant scale and meticulous production.
Which sets up Chapter 4, The Day of Dissonance, the big showdown.
The counter event launches, all polished and planned, but simultaneously you have the free event, just musicians playing from home. No script, no big production.
And the audience, they choose. They tune into the free music. The grand spectacle is left largely unwatched.
It's a powerful statement, isn't it? That connection, that authenticity trumps perfection or grandeur. The audience knew what felt real.
Which leaves the trumpeter where? Chapter 5, The Melody of Silence.
Isolated. His event failed. His control shattered. But in that quiet, he starts to listen.
He hears the world differently, this unwritten melody, imperfect but alive.
And the realization hits him. The music was never his, not the organization's. It belonged to everyone.
That final act of just listening, it feels like the first real crack in that wall of ego, a turning point.
A crucial one. It paves the way for the next stage, for Book 2, The Master of Rhythm.
Right, shifting focus now to control, but a different kind. Control through discipline, structure, fighting against the unpredictable.
Exactly, the drummer. He's all about order, routine. The unbroken beat in Chapter 1 establishes this immediately.
His life is a metronome, almost. So when the free music erupts, his instinct isn't ego like the trumpeter, but
A need to impose his kind of order. He sees chaos and wants to give it structure, a beat.
it's a fascinating contrast. The trumpeter wanted the spotlight. The drummer wants the underlying framework. He thinks rhythm is fundamental.
And this leaderless, structureless music feels like a threat to that fundamental order he believes in.
So in Chapter 2, the war drum, he tries to rally the others, contacts the trumpeter, the violinist.
His goal, set the beat, to bring cohesion, leadership back into the picture. He can't quite grasp this decentralized creation.
He wants a hierarchy, even in freedom, which leads to his plan in Chapter 3, the escaping rhythm.
Ah, yes, the subtle approach. Trying to gently nudge the free music towards a steady tempo he provides.
That doesn't work at all. Everyone just keeps playing their own way. It creates, as the book says, unpredictable chaos.
Which is precisely the point, really. True expression resists that kind of manipulation, even well-intentioned manipulation.
Yeah.
The beauty is the unpredictability.
The drummer just can't get his head around it initially until Chapter 4, the strike of chaos.
That's his moment of realization. He sees it's not just bad music or a messy concert.
It's a revolution, he thinks, a fundamental shift in how music works.
Right. It forces him to see the limits of his own rigid worldview, that music can exist, can thrive outside his controlled beats.
And the final chapter for him, the leaderless march, he watches this unstoppable wave of music, no conductor, no score.
His attempts to impose his perfect rhythm just seem pointless, irrelevant in the face of it all.
But then something shifts in him. He starts to hear a rhythm within the chaos, an emergent pulse.
That's the breakthrough. He finds beauty there, realizing the world doesn't need a metronome. It's a huge release for him.
From imposed order to appreciating emergent order. It's quite profound.
It really is. Which brings us finally to Book 3, The Architect of Melody.
And here the focus is squarely on perfection, absolute order, flawless technique, the violinist.
Yes, he's the purist,
Yeah.
believes in the sanctity of the perfect sound, the flawless execution, improvisation, mistakes, abhorrent to him.
Chapter 1, the flawless violin, sets him up perfectly. His immediate reaction to the free music.
Corruption, something broken that needs fixing. He even contacts the drummer initially, wanting to fix what you ruined.
He genuinely believes there's only one right way, one true standard of beauty in music. Anything else is just wrong.
Which leads him to his grand statement, Chapter 2, The Great Symphony.
His counter-argument, a display of absolute technical perfection conducted flawlessly, aiming for pristine beauty and harmony.
It's his attempt to show the world what true musical achievement looks like according to his ideals.
But then, Chapter 3, The Sound of Rebellion. Despite the symphony's brilliance, the audience is still drawn to the free music online on the streets.
And the violinist feels it. He pushes his orchestra harder, faster, demanding more intensity, more perfection.
But his own musicians, they start to falter. Not technically, but emotionally. They seem to be longing for something else, something the perfection can't give them.
It raises that question, doesn't it? Can the relentless pursuit of perfection actually squeeze the life, the soul, out of art?
It seems so here. The musician's subtle resistance suggests that human need for feeling, for connection, even if it means imperfection.
Which culminates in Chapter 4, The Perfect Disorder. The symphony starts to unravel.
But as it does, the violinist sees something unexpected. It's not being destroyed, it's being remade, reshaped by this energy he fought against.
He realizes his perfect order wasn't the only way, maybe it wasn't even necessary. And crucially, like the trumpeter, he realizes he never owned the music.
So he stops, lowers his head, stops conducting, an act of acceptance. Surrender, almost.
A profound moment, seeing creation in the chaos, letting go of that absolute control.
And the final chapter of Book 3, also called A Single Note, we see the three of them, trumpeter, drummer, violinist, reflecting.
They understand their own pitfalls, ego, rhythm, technique, how each tried to control music in their own way.
And the violinist realizes music is meant to be shared. And he plays just one note. Simple, free, resonant.
It's like stripping everything back to the absolute core, a symbol of their collective transformation, finding freedom in simplicity.
Which leads beautifully into the epilogue, the ownerless music.
That scene in Abu Dhabi, the three of them playing a game of Risk in silence.
The irony. After all their battles for control over the world of music, now playing a game of world domination quietly.
While the TV shows the global symphony still happening, the free music thriving, and the news.
The orchestra organization is dissolved. Their final statement, music belongs to the world, it always did.
A perfect summation. The ultimate letting go.
And that final line echoing the prologue, now everyone knows that a single note is enough to change the world. It ties it all together so well.
It really does. It feels earned after their journeys.
The book doesn't stop there, though. There's the poetic glossary.
Which is lovely. Definitions of melody, dissonance, harmony, silence, ego, freedom, connecting them back to the story.
And the famous quotes section, too, like Huxley. After silence, that which comes nearest to expressing the inexpressible is music.
Or that anonymous one. No power can silence the music born from a free soul. They really reinforce the themes.
And it ends with that direct address, your personal melody, encouraging you, the reader, to write your own note.
It doesn't have to be perfect, just yours. It's such an empowering message, isn't it? Bringing it right back to the individual.
Absolutely. And that final thought, be like a C note, so simple, so pure. A reminder that the foundation is often the most crucial part.
And only those who know the taste of freedom can truly understand the value of a single note. It leaves you thinking.
So looking back on this deep dive into a single note, it's remarkably layered fable Max Dare has created.
It truly is. A powerful exploration of how ego, control, and the obsession with perfection can stifle us, and how letting go leads to a different kind of richness, a different kind of music.
The transformation of the trumpeter, drummer, and violinist is quite profound. They each have to lose something to gain something much more valuable.
Their journeys really highlight that true creativity, true connection, often lies beyond rigid structures and flawless execution. It's in the shared, imperfect, authentic moments.
It certainly leaves you pondering, oh, what's my single note, you know?
Yeah.
What's the unique thing I can contribute, even if it isn't perfect?
Exactly. How can embracing a bit more freedom, a bit less control, maybe lead to a richer life symphony? It's a wonderful question to be left with.
It really is. It makes you want to pick up the book or maybe pick it up again. There's a lot there.
Definitely worth exploring A Single Note by Max Dare if these ideas resonate. There's depth there that lingers.
Here, books are presented calmly, so you can discover what they're about, what emotions run through them, and why you might fall in love with reading them. Sometimes they're signed with a real name, other times under a pseudonym always written from the soul. If you're a writer and would like us to talk about your book, write to me at the email you'll find in the description. And if you want to keep discovering new books that deserve to be read, subscribe to the channel. At Readsmood, we give voice to stories that transform.